Hello, hello. I hope this thing is on. And I hope you can hear me. Um, right. Today we're doing a soldering stream. And I am going to put together the Dobos T12 sequencer. Hang on. This little thing here. Yeah, I got it as a DIY kit because it was much cheaper than the assembled one. And I'm going to just go through the guide and build this now. And you can watch. Right. I put on some music in the background, my own stuff. So, just so we have something to listen to. All right. Let's see. We are starting with this stuff that's very scary. So let's see. Got the kit here. Bunch of stuff. The front panel. You get. Here. We need to break off these sides apparently. I guess the same on this one. That's scary. Don't think I've ever done that before. All right. Just a minute. I'll make sure I can actually see Twitch chat. Well, I'm quiet. Let me see if I can just turn this up. About now. Is this any better? Might be in Windows. Okay, but yeah, if you can hear me, I think that's fine. And I can just turn down the music as well. There we go. We just want background music. Okay. Pliers. Let's see. Anything useful here? Don't think so. I think I'm going to have to run to tool chat. Not chat, room. Be right back. Oh, there we go. Cool. So breaking these off, like I said, not scary at all. This is right. Oh yeah, that worked pretty well. Nice. Smooth. It's much better than those. I think they're called mouth bites. And on some other modules, it's like connected in a few places. Yeah, this is smooth. Very nice. All right. Cool. Don't think we're gonna need this one anymore. All right. Let's see what's next. This is a very pretty guide. Already looked through it, and I think it may be sacrificing clarity a little bit for prettiness, but you know, I think it's all clear enough. So, power connector. Let's see what we got. Looks to be, don't need this one right now. In here. Just trying trying to actually put all these things in a little bowl so that stuff doesn't happen. So let's see, it goes in here. Cool. I can probably just do it like this. Let's heat up the soldering iron. Put on the anti-static wrist strap. Right. So let's take a look at this. Haven't used this one in a while. I think should be good to go. Just melt a little bit of solder on it. Start with one pin. Do the opposite corner. Yep, that looks nice. How's the perspective on this? Is this good enough to see what's going on? So it's a bit more annoying to solder because they sink so much heat. In case you didn't know, the low reg power connector, this 10-pin header here, it's like the plus 12 on one side, these two minus 12 on the other side, all the other way around. And then the 6 one in the middle are all ground. And since those are often connected to a ground plane, that means there's a lot of material to sink heat into. So sometimes I need to crank up the temperature on my soldering iron a little bit for this. I think a bit of patience, we're good here. Yes, very pretty. step lower. Let's do some move. Maybe do this one here a little bit. Alright. I usually turn my soldering iron off in between things while I look at the next thing to do, just so I don't forget to turn it off, which thankfully hasn't happened very often yet. So we have the power connector. What's up next? DC-DC converter. All right. In here. Looks like. Let's just dump all of this in here as well. Oh, one very nice thing. Dobos included a PCB and panel set for a passive triple attenuator with this, which I may build at some point. Nice of them. Okay, so we need our, what is it called? DC-DC converter. This is, well, I think it's the only part that isn't just pins on this, so it should be fine. Let's see. Here we go. This goes in the front side. Don't put the wrong way around. Put that in there. Turn around again. Don't like kind of just using gravity to weigh things down, but what can you do? I see I forgot to switch back. Sorry. This might happen. Apologies. Alright. Turn the iron back on. So I should probably turn on some lights here. Yeah, that's far enough. Let's turn it on. I think there was another. Looks okay. Now let's see what's next. Right, we need to trim off the, the excess of the pins. Let's do that first before we move on to the jacks. So let's turn off the soldering iron again, because we need to place the sockets first. The ground pin on this is kind of offset to the side. I guess that might give them a little bit more stability. Slide the panel on to check the alignment. Let's see, maybe we just put the buttons and the encoder on first as well, just do them in one go. Let's do that. Okay, buttons has a tiny positioning pin on the bottom. Okay, let's see. Hey, Josh Clark Sound. I am working on the Dobos T12. Which is a sequencer, I think. I remember seeing the demo and being very happy, so I ordered one. So let's see. It's easy enough. It's about buttons. On this. There. Encoder, I think it's at something. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, I forgot to switch to the not the camera again. It's going to haunt me. Alright, here we go. Everything's on the board. Now let's see. The manual says there's a 3D printed spacer that goes onto the shaft of the encoder. So let's find that. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, I'll turn up the gain to maximum of the microphone. Hopefully that helps. If not, I can probably add a compressor or something here as well. Let's see. Some extra gain. I am muttering. I'm muttering now. Can you still hear me? I'm muttering close to the mic at 6 decibels or something. Let me know if it starts getting distorted or just kind of generally too quiet. Alright. We were going to fit the 3D printed spacer on the encoder. There we go. It's easy. Let's put the front panel on. And there's some nice stickers. So we go into my sticker drawer. And I swear eventually I will have something to put those on. Okay. Come on. And you can do it. There we go. Okay. That's pretty well. All right. So, yeah. Probably actually, let's see, just put it in here. Wait. Yeah, there's a very interestingly shaped set of headers here that I will just plug in there as well to stop the PCB from collapsing like that. just temporarily. There we go. It's not pretty, but it's a little more stable. So now, once again, nope, turn around. Yeah, there we go. Janky as hell. All right. Heat up the old iron again. And solder the sockets first. So I'm running pretty low on solder, so I'm very happy that I got some extra in reserve. Okay. It's a good question. I think I got into this. So the question was, any advice on learning soldering and getting into the DIY space? For me, I just wanted a module. And I think the first one that I built was the Casatronics quantizer. And without knowing it, I picked something that's like not the best place to start, which is like just a PCB and panel, and I think there was a pre-programmed IC that came with it, but none of the parts, so it wasn't really a kit. So I had to source all of my own parts and everything, and it was pretty tedious. But I ended up building it, and it worked great, and I still use it to this day, so it's nice. I think, like, if you're on the EMS Discord, I would check out the DIY channel. Lots of very helpful people there that helped me a lot when I was starting out. This really isn't the most stable platform to place this PCB on, but whatever. Yeah, you're gonna need some equipment, of course. Now you're gonna need a soldering iron, ideally one that you can temperature control, and just supplies. And then it's a question of getting practice. I think there's some good starter kits, like the Zlob Modular. I think I found those to be pretty fun to build. And I think they're all through hole too, so it's easy to get started. Well, easy ones to start with, at least. And yeah, I think for me, like, the biggest learning curve was getting a feel for how temperature propagates through a PCB. What I mentioned earlier with the ground plane, like, some pins just take much longer to heat up and kind of sink more heat. And just kind of getting a feel for that, it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with my soldering iron. It's just this particular thing that I'm trying to heat up has a lot more mass, so it takes longer to heat up. Needs more power. And I think that was kind of the biggest realization for me that then helped me be a lot more relaxed about this. All right, 2 more sockets. Come on, melt. There you go. It helps, like with computers, it helps when you talk to your stuff, just to, you know, make it feel guilty about not cooperating. Yeah, that wasn't pretty. Okay, last one. All right. So I think there was something about a warning about do not solder it yet for the encoder. Let's see what that said. Okay, we did this. Okay, so just place the buttons and the encoder and solder them together. All right, can do that. Okay, slide on the front panel and secure it. I should have probably done that here too, but whatever. It's just recommendations, right? Rules. There you go. Just put this there to secure it. That's secure enough. Now we can solder the other side of this. It's gonna put it down here now. Okay, I left the iron on this time, contrary to what I said before. All right. Oh, sometimes I need to melt a little bit of solder on the iron itself so that it gets better contact with the surface of the pin that I'm soldering. And just, you know, otherwise, if there's only very tiny points where the iron touches the pin, then there's not a lot of heat transfer. But if you put solder on it, that melts at the temperature that the iron is at, and that means the heat transfers through the melted solder into the pin and the pad, which then helps everything heat up more quickly. Feels like a cheat. Again, and should be good. Right. Let's do the button first, and the buttons, and then after that I'll solder the legs of the encoder. Oh, damn it. I'm sorry. I forgot to switch back to this view again. Nice and relaxing. And I know, very exciting to watch. Okay. Good enough. Now let's do the legs of the encoder. Those always eat up a lot of solder to fill up. But I do like to solder these because then there's less potential for wobble when you twist a knob or turn an encoder. And that's always good. Ugh. This one. Then I think after this, moving on to another PCB. Look at those instructions together in a minute. Probably good enough, but just gonna put a little bit more. Here we go. Yeah. All right, so let's turn off the soldering iron again and look at the instructions for what's next. Now we should remove the panel. All right. So let's do that and then move on to step 7, which means soldering little 2-pin headers to the LED board. Okay. So let's remove the panel first. Oh, God. I think I might need a tool for this. Nope, it's fine. It's just a little hot. All right, panel's gone. Let's put this one away as well. Move on to the LED board. So we have 3 2-pin contacts here, and we're supposed to put little 2-pin headers to the back of it. It's gonna get janky again. Start on one side, maybe. So, trick is to turn them around without them falling out, which is not always, which doesn't always work. But we're good now. All right. Pin headers. Let's go. Need to do just one first, because if you do 2, it's a lot more annoying to reheat it if you need to adjust the alignment. There we go. Now let's do the one on the other side. This one looks a little bit... Oh, that's not smart. Okay, let me switch to the other view here. So here, the front one looks fine, but the back one is a little bit skewed. So we'll fix that in a second. Let's do the one on the other side first. So here we go. Nope, we're not. Come on, here we go. So there. It's probably, I mean, there's definitely a better way to do this, like plugging them into a breadboard or something, but it sounds like effort. See how wobbly this is. There we go. That looks not great. Let's adjust it. So I'm simply reheating it, pressing the header down into the mat here, and then just slightly moving it so that the angle is adjusted. And that looks better. There. Yeah, I mean, good enough at least. Okay, let's do the same thing with the other one that was a little bit bent. Bent, just skewed. I think. Let's do a little bit more. That's better. And this one as well. Then solder the other pin. Sometimes when the iron is hot for too long, it starts oxidizing. I think that's what it is, at least, and kind of prevents it from conducting heat as well, so it was clean. So that's what the metal sponge here is for, to kind of clean that oxidation off the iron again. All right. Next one. There we go. Okay. That almost looks professional. Though honestly, I'm not a professional. I would not know what professional looks like, so I'm just guessing. All right. What's next? Let's look at our instructions again. So now this is just, okay, just everything placed, I guess. We will refer back to this later, maybe, if something goes wrong. So now there's this weird, the weird 12-pin socket. I think that's used for the touchpad to just connect to the front panel and to those touch contacts to see like what pad you're touching. Okay. And let's look at the order of operations here. We are putting the LED board together with a 3D printed LED frame. So that means we're putting this little thing here on this. And I'm not sure if you can see it. It has these little cutouts for the pin headers, which is useful. I think I might have to cut those down, or no, I think it's gonna fit. Let's just assume it fits, and if not, we'll fix it later. Just a little bit of 3D print guff here that could probably use cleaning up. But all of these are gonna be hidden below the panel anyway, so whatever. Cool. So that's assembled. Well, for certain values of assembled. Now let's put the 12-pin thing here. Okay. There we go. Ish. Now I guess put this in here. And that goes there. Fits. Right, fits snug. And then do we do anything with the LED yet? I think so. But first we are soldering the 12-pin socket to the main PCB after putting the panel. There we go. Let's put that together. Secure it with a nut. I think it's set to use on the encoder and on J6. All right, so one of the sockets and the encoder. So let's put it there. On it. And all of the sockets, I think. That is J1. So that here is J6. I'm just gonna hand tighten these because it should be good enough. Okay, so now it's actually fitting pretty well. No give. And now let's see. No, actually now it's so nice and I can use my thing here. I don't know what this is called in English. To just put it in there to the front panel so that I have a bit of an easier time keeping everything level. Okay, so once again, we are now soldering the 12-pin socket to the main PCB. So that would be this little thing here. And then the odd pins, so these ones here. Just the ones we can see. Then we align the LED PCB. Let's solder the 2-pin headers that we just added to the LED PCB. Okay, so let's start with the 12-pin socket. And then refer back to this, just so we don't get confused. So that's... is it still in focus? Let's see. It's maybe a little bit better here. Maybe I can turn around. All right. Let's go. Should not be too problematic. Just gonna... Here's one. I think it should be fine. Nudge it a little bit. Okay. Let's do the other 11. Wait. Is that what I'm supposed to do? That makes little sense. So hang on. These instructions are a little bit confusing. All right, so it says we're supposed to solder the 12-pin socket to the main PCB. This up here is the main PCB, and these are the 12 pins. And then we're supposed to solder the visible pins, which is these here, right? And we're supposed to solder these to the back panel. So at that point, the back panel and the main PCB are soldered together. Oh, hang on. I think I missed the fact that this is a header that comes apart. So there's like 2 parts of it, and we can just pull it apart. So I think it's good that I checked, because I've made this kind of mistake before. But it looks like, if you can see it here, there is a disconnect there. And let's just make sure that that's actually also what we have on our workbench here. All right. So it looks good. There is a... yeah, that's going to be 2 parts. So I think we're fine. We're fine. Let's solder this and then carefully pull it apart instead of stressing about it. Okay, that could have been clearer. And continue. This one. These all seem to heat up pretty well. Quite happy that none of these joints have been problematic so far. Usually I run into at least one that It's giving me trouble, and then I have to break out the soldering paste to fix it. But the day's still young. Okay, careful not to touch the IC there. Move on quickly. Right. Oh, we're listening to my drone day stream from a few weeks ago now. One of the two. This is just auto-playing my SoundCloud. Alright. It's looking a little thin. Let's secure it better. There we go. Especially with headers, remember that soldering joints also have to withstand mechanical stress, not just conduct. Alright, so we have soldered the 12-pin socket to the main PCB, and now we solder the odd pins. That's the very barely visible ones here. I think I'm gonna take this out again here because otherwise it's gonna be difficult to reach in there. Let's maybe wedge it on here. Does that work? Not great. Okay. Yeah, this is slightly pulling apart if I don't put any pressure on it. I must do this. It's a bit adventurous. Just wedge it on here, come on. It's not great. Hopefully stable enough for me to get in there and add some solder. So since these are SMD pads, I think I'm actually going to do it with paste because that tends to work better for me. And let's see. There we go. Maybe you can see it. So I've got soldering paste here, there, and the handy little dispenser. I'm just gonna put a little dab of it on each pad. Maybe I'll put a large dab somewhere first because I don't think I closed this up the last time I used it. Yeah, okay, disgusting. Let's put that there. Just a little bit. This paste is very nice. Contains a lot of flux, which means that it flows very well once heated. Yep, should be enough. Now I have a doubt. Maybe just try to do it. It's not going to be stable. But I may be able to just hold it with my other hand because I don't need to hold the soldering wire. All right, so let's do that maybe. Sorry. So let's see how it goes. That went well so far. Yeah, probably can't see this. It's gonna be too low resolution. Let me actually bring it closer so that you can. So. There you go. The first contact there on the left is soldered, the rest are dabbed with paste. And now we're just going to continue. In case you didn't know, soldering paste is just solder in very, very tiny little globs suspended in flux. I mean, there's probably some other magic going on there, but it's not magic, it's just material science. And I should probably turn on this fume extractor here. These kinds of things, I like to refill them once just to even out any remaining granules. Okay then, we have done as they asked. Let's take a look at what the instructions say next. Right, we have soldered the odd pins, and now we need to do the LED. We align the LED PCB together with the frame so that it sits as flush with the front panel as possible. Okay, so I guess that means try to use gravity. I don't know. Maybe push in the pins. Let's hope there's not a lot of play there. We'll find out. But then we solder the 2-pin headers to the main PCB. Cool. After that, we remove the front panel, and that will hopefully pull apart these headers here. And then we solder the other side of these headers. All right. Let's see. I guess this already looks pretty flush. I don't really see any gaps there. It's probably good enough. It's mainly, I think mainly this step is just to prevent light bleed. But the 3D printed frame should get most of that. Alright, fuck it. Let's solder these. Now I'm gonna put it back into this clamp though. I think that's probably a name you could call it. Now let's solder some more headers. Do we need to add this some more? Oh. Sorry about that. I was playing with feedback in my drone day stream, and I think this was filter resonance that I cranked too hard. That's what it was supposed to sound like. Little whale noises. Or humming. Two. to remove the front panel. Let's turn this off again. And see if we can manage to do that without causing damage to these SMD headers here. Gentle. Oh wait, I should probably remove the nuts first. Otherwise, what am I doing? There we go. Here, and very gently pull apart these headers here. A little bit of wiggling never hurt anyone. There we go. Yay! That worked. Awesome. Cool. So now I guess we get to solder the backside of these, which has another set of 6. Here I don't feel bad about putting it in there because I'm not soldering close to the grip part of this. Right, once again, let's dab some paste. So let me switch to the other camera. Maybe you can see it better from there. I have my doubts. Maybe I can adjust it. They are sealing up. Maybe this works. I'm not sure. Oh, not the aperture. Okay. There we go. So, paste first. And I think that's probably way too much, but it'll be fine. All right. Usually I start by heating, like slowly kind of crawling towards it to start adding some ambient heat to the PCB, which makes it melt a tiny little bit faster. Fume extractor. Around the thing. Step on the thing as well. I had to solder so many of these for the bus boards on the Bafako 70 cases. Like every power connector on there has what is it, 8 on each side? And they're kind of arranged so that you have to solder these SMD pads on the front and the back. And the connectors sit on the side of the PCB. It's, you know, it works well, but I'm about to solder. And they're pretty much the same again, just kind of heat the PCB around the pad and let the paste just glow up onto it. Sure. Okay. I think we're good. Just what we have to do here. Should probably play it.
guess you can just set that up with the iron too. This flux is no clean, so that means that you don't necessarily have to clean it up with some kind of fluid or anything.
Alright. That's that. Now, what's next? We have finished step 8. So now I think we are moving on to the LED, which is this thing here. LED panel, that is. Not just a single LED. Cool. Remove the protective foil. That sounds dangerous. But, oh, dropping it probably also isn't very smart. All right. Stuff this out here. Here we have the OLED, and I think we need this not on the front panel, but on the PCB. Nice. There, and maybe I can, it's gonna be difficult to clamp in here. I can do it like this. Should work, more or less. That's everything. There we go. Yeah, it's not super stable, but it's stable enough, I think. Okay. Let's put these guys back on there. Who knows if we will get another chance. And actually, let me move this further over here so it's better in frame. Okay, now the LED. Oh, we do need the front panel actually. So we're just mounting everything together and then soldering it while mounted, I guess. So let's remove the protective foil. Let's put it here on the PCB. Put that on there. Yep. Let's see, do we have pins here? Yep. Okay. Come on, I believe in you. Let's put those in there first and then do the good stuff. Okay. There we go. That all fits together nicely, but as you can see, the screen is just sort of loose in there. So now I guess we are going to align it and solder it. Oh yeah, it's one of those. This is my least favorite thing, well, one of my least favorite things, which is when the pins of an LED module, an OLED module or screen module, are just barely kind of poking into the contact holes here. So let me put that like this. can see the pins are into the holes, but they're not not looking out the other side. So I think, just to be safe, I will use paste on these as well. All right. Let's heat up the iron. And hopefully see that everything is aligned. Oh wait, we are supposed to secure the front panel with nuts on a socket and the encoder. So here's one. And hopefully we can just leave them on after that. Nothing goes wrong. So align it so that it sits as flush to the panel as possible. I know there's some panels that are basically that have like a little window in the front, and I much prefer that to these that are just loose, because there's always going to be like dust and so on making its way into the screen. Yeah, I was going to use just paste instead of flux, which, you know, same effect. I can just squeeze it in there a little bit too. Let's start with one. See what we get. Seems to have closed the hole. All right. Let's do the rest of them. I need to get overly zealous with the paste. There we go. Is there still music? Let's just do next one. There we go. All right. Do it. It's like having the cable of my soldering iron on the outside of the arm so that I don't kind of fold it over the PCB or whatever. So it's closed as well. Should probably do some continuity tests on these to make sure the solder hasn't flowed too far down. Just on my contact with the contact pins here, between the pins and the contacts. Words. Do pardon me, I'm not a native English speaker. Now that we have some flux and solder on there, it becomes easier to just fill it in with wire. Should, at least in theory. Here we go. least from the front, that looks fine. But let's see what's next. And then I guess we attach the nuts and hope for the best, and then upload the firmware. Cool. All right. Let's do that, I guess. Actually, before we do that, because this means that everything should be in place. Let's see. Just gonna check what the backside of these pins I just soldered looks like. And I think they look okay. So what I'm just going to do instead of attaching those nuts is I'm going to power this. Okay. Yep. So that we can see if it works. I've got the Buffaco Chicky power for kind of testing on the bench, which is very useful for this purpose. Just real quick, going to steal a USB-C cable from another device here that hopefully wasn't important. Plug that in here. It has power. And now we're going to plug this in. And the red stripe goes there. So let's see. Moment of truth. Did we do it right? Oh, probably not, because there's no firmware on it yet. All right. And no LEDs either. So let's do that first. Okay. So here we go. Firmware upload. So I've already downloaded the firmware. If I can find it. So here are. Firmware upload instructions. See this in Google Drive? I don't think we can. Okay. So I'm only sharing the window, so you can't see the other windows. I'm sorry. But I will just read out what the say. Make sure your module is connected to the power distribution board of your module case with the power cable. Confirm that your modular system is in the powered off state. And since we're just using the Chicky power, there's nothing else in there. And let's see if I can just share the screen. Some OBS finagling here. So we are using not this one, but that didn't work. What the hell? Okay, that display capture did not work as intended. Oh well. Doing it live. Never mind. Okay, so instead I will just do it. So we need a micro USB cable, which I'm sure I have off here somewhere. There we go. Nice little micro USB. I'm going to plug that into a hub over here. So again, Step 1, make sure the module is connected to power. Let's do that. With the correct, let's drive in the correct direction. There we go. System is powered off. Download the firmware. I did that. Extract contents. Locate the file named T12 firmware versus a version something. Use a micro USB cable, which I have here, to connect to that. Plugged in there. Power up the module while holding the boot button, which is this one here. So let's do that. Hold it down. Power on. And we hear the characteristic connecting sound. And I see a new drive appear in my device and drives Explorer. And I will simply, as they say, drag the firmware from the folder to the device, wait until it's complete, and unplug the USB cable. And it just disconnected and reconnected. So I think that's probably it. Hey, look at that. We have live. The screen, it's alive. And the touch buttons, they do stuff. Yay. Cool. Now I need to learn how this actually works and probably put on the rest of the nuts and the encoder cap and everything. So let's power this off again. Here we go. Like I said, this little cheeky power is very useful for building modules because you don't have to then connect it to the rest of your system and everything. And maybe if you did something wrong, risk that you damage some of your existing modules. So I find it safer to just keep it separate. All right, let's put on these nuts. Okay. It's not my favorite part. Okay. Try not to swear. No promises though. It's 2 more. This one. Right. I don't have a handy knot tightening tool. I do have one that came with one of the Befaco kits, which is a little too large for these regular nuts, but still sort of works. So I've been abusing that to tighten these nuts. These kinds of nuts. As you can see, it works not very well, but it's better than nothing. So if anyone sees one of those dedicated kind of screwdriver bits for tightening these nuts. Did I just say these nuts? I'm sorry. Let me know, because I would love to have this part of it be less of a pain. Okay, they seem fine. Now let's put on the encoder. There we go. Buttons work. Cool. Here we go. And that's, I think, this build completed. thanks everyone for hanging out with me. I will have to demo it another time when I have it hooked up to my system and actually understand how it works. All right. Take care, everyone. And goodbye.